So today I'm joined by a good friend, Tanner Shuck. Tanner has a killer fitness business doing around 40 to 60,000 a month. We're going to talk about how he can get to 100K a month and onwards. He's currently based in Dubai from the US, former pro CrossFit athlete, and we're going to dig into some things today. So first thing you want to talk about was organic or paid ads, right?
Yeah, I personally my growth in the fitness industry has been maybe a bit unusual compared to a lot of other fitness coaches because I've never focused on business ever. All I ever focused was on social media because that's just what I thought was important. But, I've grown a decent audience on Instagram and YouTube, but I really haven't done as good of a job as I should have as monetizing that audience. And I think a reason for that is maybe because I'm not, running paid ads and I'm just relying purely on organic content. And there's a lot of fitness coaches with a way smaller followings than me that are making way more money than me. So that personally bothers me. So I want to know, am I okay to continue just doing organic or should I get into paid ads? Okay. If I'm at 40 to 60K a month,
how many calls a month do you book?
So it's generally probably about 14 a week. So it'd be around 50 to 60 a month.
Okay. So say 50 to 60. And then what's your closing percentage?
It's about 50%.
Okay.
When I'm doing, I do all my own sales calls too.
So you sign up, how many people show up?
Oh man. I'd say my show up rate's probably 70%.
So those numbers are all great. And then, so how many rough signups you get in a month off the top of that, 22, 25?
And again, it depends on the month. I would probably say somewhere between 20 to 25.
Okay, cool. And then
one way I've just managed to make more money is just renewals, client retention. I'm really focusing on that as well.
And then how many, what's your program price?
Generally 6 months for 21 to 2,400. That's really what it is. And I know raising my price could be a good thing, but this is another issue I have. I don't really have set prices because sorry to get too, I might jump on a call with a 50-year-old woman or I might jump on a call with a 25-year-old man. And sometimes I decide my prices on the call depending on what their job is and, what I think I can actually charge that person.
So if you're charging 2,100 to 2,400 and you only do 6-month programs, what's the biggest problem you solve for clients?
This is so broad again. Biggest problem, just getting them happier and healthier. That's really the biggest thing that I try to sell them on, just overall health and getting stronger, leaner.
Okay. And the age demographic of these people, 30 plus?
I'd say probably the majority of my clients are male, 40, 35 to 50.
Even better. Okay. So what I see, and we are both in this category now. So it's when you're in this age bracket and you are coming into the prime of your life, as I like to think, people actually want longer term goals rather than just 6 months. So what I would actually do, I would increase your prices and I would also do a 6 and a 12-month offer. So I would offer them one of each. So you could be cool, it's 2,500 for say 2,500 for 6 months, or it's 3,500 for the year paid up front. And the way I would frame it in terms of having the second 6 months is then basically just $1,000. Now, why that works really well is you can really easily increase the LTV of a client, or basically how much they pay up front, and you're offering them 2 options. Now, with that, that's really easy in terms of the human brain. If I'm okay, cool, it's essentially going to be say 2,500 for 6 months, and then say 3,500 for a year. Well, the year looks really attractive at that point, right?
Saving 1,500, easy.
And then what you also do is you sell them into the long term. Actual goal of what they want. So you can talk them what we talk about in our own fitness business is we talk about a 4-phase system. So we call it a priming phase, fat loss phase, performance phase, reverse diet phase, and performance phase, something like that. And then you sell people through that journey, and that's where it then becomes easier to try and sell this. And say, for example, if you're selling 22 to 25 clients a month, if you could sell 25% of them on say 5 onto the extra 12 months, that's an extra $5,000 a month, that's $60,000 a year, just from that one tweak.
Change.
Yeah.
So doing a 12-month offer.
Yeah, I just offer them both. We do a 6-month offer, we have a 12-month offer. Personally, I think based upon everything you said, Tanner, you want to drop body fat, but you also build muscle, and you want to improve your performance. You'd be best to use a 4-phase system. If I'm being radically transparent, you can't do this in 3 months.
Yeah, for sure.
You'd be fucking hard pushed to do this in 6 months. You really need 12 months to do this properly. The first phase will strip all the fat off you, help get all the habits in place. Then we'll help you become like a high performance athlete, and then we'll help you create the results that you can then create for a lifetime. So we have a 6-month offer that's $2,500, and we have the 12-month offer that's $3,500. I personally think the 12-month is a much better option. And the reason it's actually 50% off the second 6 months, to be also relatively transparent, is it's less work for me at that point. Because the big thing we're doing there is just really keeping you accountable and making sure you're making progress. Because statistically, 88% of people who actually lose weight regain that weight and more.
Weight back. That's a great way to sell it.
And we don't want it to be another statistic.
Well, that's actually so true too, as well. So you don't want to be.
So that's like the first thing I would look at in terms of like where you are with your business is like one of the biggest levers you can pull is pricing and the offer. So if you structure it like that, that will help as well. Obviously, if a lot of your clients are also US based, do you do any financing?
I do.
Okay.
So I always try, the way I propose it is like, hey, you can do 4 months or 6 months. I'll change that to 6 or 12. But like, obviously I try to sell them on the longer one because you'll get more money up front and it's not that much more. It's good. And then if they can't do it, then I'll say, hey, if you want, you can look into financing that, use Klarna or Affirm. And then if they can't do that, then what I've been taught, I don't know if it's right or not, I think about monthly installments or split payments. So I try to make it work for them no matter what. I don't know if that's the right approach or not.
100%. I just thought something else. So with your business, you have a coach working for you now as well, right?
I do, which is like yes. So I actually have 3 people working with me, 2 people that kind of handle all the workouts, and then one that's I do Loom videos because I just want to offer a high quality service and making sure that my clients are actually, they're having communication and being held accountable. So yeah, I have 2 coaches that kind of handle like the workout, like making sure everyone's taken care of and answering all DMs and things like that. And then I have another coach that's basically giving them the personal Loom videos.
Okay. So are you coaching anyone yourself? A lot.
I'm still in some coaching, like one or 2 clients that I'm really trying my hardest to get out of because of what you told me. You got to get out of fulfillment because it's a bottleneck. And I know that the best use of my time is not coaching people anymore. It's like literally it's making content.
I would 100% agree. And what I would also do, though, do you have people come into sales calls who are like, I just want to work with you, Tanner?
I'm embarrassed to say this. I only recently started changing my sales, like, hey, we're going to be working with me and my co-coach. So the majority of my clients, I sold them that, hey, they're going to be working directly with me. And I know I got to change that. It's going to be working with us, me and my co-coach, John. But yes, I do. Because I think a lot of people, they get on the call with me and they've watched my YouTube videos. They're like, wow, I can have Tanner Shuck coach me. So that's something I need to fix moving forward. I'm aware of that.
Yeah, so what I would definitely do then is I'd have a second offer, which is like a VIP offer.
This was another question. I don't have. So like, dude, I heard this at your masterminds. Everyone should have a VIP. I'm like, motherfucker, I don't have a VIP.
So you always want to have a more expensive thing you can sell people, and also a thing you can ascend people to. So you might have people, for example, who come in and they work with a coach and like, oh, I actually just really want to work with Tanner, and then you can try and upsell them, or you can even try and upsell clients who are a year in who've got great results. But like, look, dude, you're doing really, really well. You might be a good fit to go and work with Tanner if you know someone's affluent and they're really bought into the brand, because that's how you can get like more LTV out of people.
Yeah.
But what I would do with your VIP offer, I would basically just have you coaching a small select group of people. But like I used to do this in our own fitness business, and maybe it's 10K for the year. So like if you got 10 people come in,
and dude, I know I have a couple of clients that 10K is not that much to them.
Dude, so like you do that's 100K straight away. Like that's like, if you want to make $1 million a year, that's 10% of it done from 10 people.
Yeah.
And how many people do you have in your YouTube audience?
I have 288,000 subscribers.
Okay.
Wait, how many clients or how many? What was the question?
How many subscribers do you get, and what's your average views?
So I got 288,000 subscribers, and I have 1.6 million views per month on average right now.
Okay, so traffic is not a bottleneck, right? So this is not a problem. This is a systems issue. So I wouldn't personally be too concerned about paid ads right now.
Yeah.
Where there is money you could make would be if you did retargeting ads. However, I would say you only have so much time and attention. That's not something that's a huge priority for you right now. I would focus solely on some of the other stuff we're going to talk about today, which is probably going to be around offer, pricing, team, structure, and how all that works. And then when you do that, you then get way more return on it.
All right, dude. Before we just move on, because I'm just writing my head. If I have a VIP offer, because I already am going to change 6 to 12 months, or I'll go 6 months offer, 12 months offer. And then if I have a VIP offer, you would just put 10K a year.
I'd just be like 10 grand a year, or even You could do 2 payments, 5K, and even maybe like you could throw in there like if people would love this, is what's great idea, and it'd be good content you can film for YouTube. Is also what you can do is if you want to fly out to Dubai, we can do like a workout every like 3 to 6 months. You can come train with me, blah blah blah. Like because that'd be sick content and also social proof for you as well.
Absolutely.
And
I've actually had a couple clients that have passed through Dubai and I've worked out with them. Or like I don't even charge them. I just am like, hey man, let's work out.
Yeah,
that's good. So I can actually package that.
Because people will want to do it. So like when you sell those clients, what that also does, if you're saying you've got a 10K offer, so like, okay, cool. So to be radically transparent, Charlie, we have 2 different programs. We have one where I work specifically with really high level clients. That's $10,000. And the one to work with the rest of our team using my methodology and working with the coaches who work for me is $3,500 for a year, and then 2.5
for 6,
which doesn't seem cheap.
Yeah,
because you're price anchoring off of the price of a view, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I've heard Alex Hormozy say that, price anchoring.
And then you can talk about how you coach them on the group level, maybe with group calls.
Which I do already.
Yeah, Facebook group, school community.
Yeah.
So they have that interaction with you, but you're just not their first point of contact.
Got it. Bro, that's smart.
So like for you, what I would do is I would literally, and this is the best advice to give anyone in their business, is the biggest lever for growth you have right now, you're already doing. Okay. So like improving your YouTube, making like YouTube VSL case studies of clients.
Yeah.
Improving your Instagram and CTAs, which we can talk about. Like that's what you want to lean into, what's already working, rather than like going into some like unknown field that you don't really know.
Getting distracted, because dude, I'm bad at marketing. Facebook, I get anxiety from that because my ad account's been disabled. And I don't even know how that even works.
Yeah.
So like in your opinion, probably don't even worry about that.
Not right now, because you don't have any traffic issues. You have loads of traffic.
Yeah.
So like I wouldn't even fucking worry about that right now.
Okay.
If you were Toby, who works for Planet Fitness in fucking Oklahoma, like no respect to anyone who's in Oklahoma.
Like,
you're actually from Oklahoma.
I am.
There you go, that's random.
That's a perfect analogy.
So like if you're Toby from Oklahoma and you've got 1,000 followers, like paid ads is probably something you're going to need. Like I would probably use pretty much from out the gate.
Yeah.
Even just like boosting content to get eyeballs and to get momentum. Sure. But you don't have that problem because you put in the groundwork already.
Yeah.
So like I wouldn't personally worry about that. I would say you can get to 100K a month without paid ads and then start to add that in. But I'd focus on also getting the systems, the offer, the team and everything right first before you go into that realm.
I don't mean to get too specific. Like one thing that's actually been really helpful is having like a pitch deck. Do I put that VIP offer in my pitch deck?
I would. I'd be like, we've got this offer and this offer. If you want to work, or like you don't even have to put it in there to be fair. So I would even say to them like, here's our main program. I also have another offer to work with me, which is a lot more expensive. It's $10,000. Because 90% of the people it's not going to be right for. And actually on a sales call, if you're honest with people and like, if I'm radically transparent, it's not actually the best thing for you to do.
Yeah.
This is a better program for you to actually like take, unless you get someone who comes through, and this is actually some great advice I'd give you, is the people who come through who want to pay $10,000, you will probably get more out of that person from who they are, the connections, and like even learning from them than the money they pay.
I told you about that guy with the 900,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
Dude, I probably could have, I told him $2,400. He said, okay. Like literally, it was the easiest sell I've ever had in my life. And I probably could have sold him on 10K.
Right, he would have done 10K.
Yeah, I know. And I just left $7,500 on the table right there.
Which is why this is.
I didn't have the confidence, to be honest.
But that's also like where things are a psychological limiting belief. So like if you get used to spending 10, 12K or 25K or 30K, whatever on coaching yourself, you're then like, you don't give a shit about pitching 12K to someone. And I'll give a good story.
Yeah.
I had a Russian woman who wanted to work with me here, who was a business coach in Russia, and she wanted help in terms of building a business. I could tell it'd be an absolute pain in the ass, and I didn't really want to do it. And I also know she had loads of money. So I was like, at what point is this worth me doing?
Yeah.
So like, it was just a fun exercise. I pitched her 100K to help her, like paid in one go. She didn't do it, but for me, it was just like, it broke a limiting belief in my head, just being like, yeah, it's $100,000. Like,
kind of like what Daryl Lee's tried to pitch you on 150,000.
Yeah.
Something like that. Wow. I wouldn't do that. I just wouldn't think to do that because maybe because I just haven't made as much money as you. Like I have that limiting belief that I need to.
But that will go with time. And then I remember the exact time. This is so funny. So I won't say who the client's name is in case he watches it. So I remember a client paid me £10,000 for a year's coaching. Actually, not even me. A sales closer took the call, closed him for £10,000. I remember sitting in my garden shed in the UK, in my little office, and fucking jumping up and down and shouting. And then my partner at the time was like, "What the fuck are you like? Who's died? Like, what's going on?" And I like explained what happened. And I was like, for me, that broke a limiting belief in my head because when I first started in a 9-to-5 job, I made £12,000 a year.
Yeah.
I just paid someone basically pay me that for one coaching program in one go.
You didn't even have to do any work.
I didn't book the call. I didn't take the sales call.
Dude, and you just made 10,000
in one go.
Dude, that's gotta I would be ecstatic too. I'd be jumping up and down. Dude, too.
It's wild.
That would be wild.
But that's what's going to happen to you, and I can't wait for you to message me when it happens. But that's where, like, for everyone, particularly if you have credibility, you need to have a higher tier offer because if you've got like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people watching your YouTube channel, 1% of those people are going to be very wealthy.
Yeah.
So all you need is 10 people a year, and then you've already got 100 grand, like in coaching revenue. So like, I would even just think about how can you make that like an irresistible offer. So like one-to-one coaching sessions, they want to come to Dubai, you can come and train with you, like whatever. Like maybe you could throw in some like blood work stuff, like whatever it might be. So
dude, another guy told me about
advice.
That. Yeah, dude, if people have the money, and like I have right now, I have 3 clients at the top of my head that I could have pitched that to. They can afford it. I'm like, why didn't I do that?
So that's the first thing. So organic or paid ads, in my opinion, you don't need paid ads yet. I would add that in as you go further down the line. But I would say the next, like, I would try and always think with the business in like phases. And so I'd say for like the next quarter or 12 weeks, this isn't something you need to do. I would focus on that offer, that pricing structure, and getting that aligned.
So 12-month offer, and then have a
6 to 12 months,
10K a year.
Yeah, and then have the 10K a year like VIP offer. And I say for anyone who's got a lot of credibility, that's definitely something you should have. Like,
yeah, I'm like kicking myself right now that I.
So I would do that. Do you have any other questions on organic paid ads?
I kind of know, because it actually gives me a relief that I don't actually need to worry about paid ads. Because, dude, I'm not going to lie. Like when I look at you and Ryan Fisher, you guys are freaking crushing it, and you guys have used paid ads very successfully. I'm like, fuck, I should be doing that, but maybe I don't need to.
But bro, you got free traffic, so like I would rinse that, and I would also say that, and I said this to you earlier on, like business is a game of subtraction, not addition. So like, the less things you can do, but the better you can do them, the more you succeed.
Yeah.
Like I said to you earlier, like the biggest lever for growth is the things you're already doing. So like, can you rinse that for more, which we'll talk about.
All right, that's good.
So building a team, this is a huge one. And also like, this is a big point of constraint I see when people are like in this kind of bottleneck of 40 to 60K a month, because what happens is you get stuck with, and correct me if this is wrong, loads of sales calls that become difficult, too many coaching clients you can't then help, and then you're like stuck, right?
These are all pain points that I'm.
Sound correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so where are you at with the team you have right now?
I have a personal assistant that has made my life way easier, that I really like. I just hired a coach to basically handle most of the fulfillment.
Yeah.
And then I have another, he's actually a young kid. He's helping me out, like just making sure all my clients always have workouts. So basically I'm managing 3 people just for the coaching and fulfillment. All right. Then, dude, I got videographers, editors that I worry about. And I have 2 setters as well that I'm working with. One setter's on, I pay him hourly. He's from Pakistan. He's actually very good, thankfully. He's very affordable too. And then I have another one that's just commission based.
Okay. Awesome. We'll dig into that. And then what's your bottleneck in managing this at the moment, or building a team? What's the problem?
The lack of organization. Like I have one weekly meeting with my personal assistant and then my other kid that helps me out with the programming. And then I don't even have a set meeting with the coach that I just hired. Like, I want to know, how do you manage, because you have 2 teams. Yeah. And you said you don't want to have freaking 18 people reporting to you every day. How do you manage your team? When do you meet with them? How often do you meet with them?
Okay, so this is perfect. So the first thing I would look at, how you communicate using WhatsApp. Do you have Slack?
I've heard of Slack. I used Slack when I was working with an agency, and then when I went to your event in November, you said don't work with an agency, so that I stopped doing that. So I stopped using Slack, but maybe I should use Slack.
Okay, so first thing I do is you use Slack. That's like you cannot be running a business via WhatsApp. It's a fucking shit show.
Yeah.
And you can also automate a lot of things into Slack. So first thing I would say is bring that in. And I remember when I did that in my business, and everyone fucking hated it at the beginning. And they're like, we just want to use WhatsApp, blah, blah, blah. And then 3 weeks later, everyone's like, this is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, thank you. So that is something you need to have in place. And I can show you some like the automations and stuff you can add into that, and we can talk about that. The best way for reporting on here is have an end of day channel. So we call ours progress every day.
Okay.
So I will have a channel of the 4 to 5 people who now directly report to me. Now, what they do is they send a Loom video at the end of every day.
I saw a piece of content you made about this, or maybe it was at your mastermind. But so you have them send you a Loom video every day?
So they send me a Loom video at the end of every day of like, here's what I've done today, here's what I'm working on tomorrow, here's what I need your help with. They also go through Notion and they tick off like 5 to 6 things that need to do every day that they've done, like specific to the individual. So that way every day I can go into Slack and watch 4 to 5 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute Loom videos, know exactly what's going on. And I don't have to have shitloads of meetings. I can watch them on the Stairmaster at the gym if I want to.
Yeah.
And just reply under the videos in Slack with like, do X, do Y, do Z. It also transcribes it as well. So it's super, super easy. So that would be something I would do straight away. And why it's really important for you and anyone who's a business owner is there is absolutely nowhere fucking people can hide. If you have to send me a Loom video every day of like what you've done and you're like, I'm like, well, what have you done today, Tanner?
Yeah, like,
do
they have to answer to that? And so like, it just probably make sure they're actually doing what you're paying them to do.
So that would be the first thing I would do.
Did you get any pushback from that from anyone?
No. And also, like, if anyone has got pushback, like, why would you have an issue of sending a 2-minute video of what you've done today when you worked the whole day? Because you haven't done the thing.
Yeah.
So if anyone ever pushing back on those types of stuff, that's something I would really be a big red flag for me in terms of an issue. And then the other thing I would say I would add into this in particular with setters and even maybe video editors is we use time tracking software.
Yeah, I use Hubstaff because I learned about that in November at your mastermind. That's been tremendously helpful.
So the reason I say that is I worked in an actual physical office with other people as a real estate agent and was fucking around and built my fitness business whilst doing it whilst working around. So like these people working remotely, you have no idea.
Dude, I literally have no idea.
So this is a huge thing. I would make sure for anyone watching this that you have all your team members do so you can actually see what they're doing every day. Yeah.
All right.
Last thing I would do is when you come, like you've now got a reporting cadence in terms of like Loom every day. Hubstaff, you can see what people are doing, and then you say you're having a meeting every week. Is that on a Monday?
Wednesday.
Why Wednesday?
There's no reason.
Okay,
it should be Monday. I don't know.
Okay, so I would personally put them on a Monday because it's the start of the week and set like the agenda of what's going on. So for us, we call it like a WAM. It's like a weekly alignment meeting.
Okay.
To make sure everyone's on the same page of what's going on. What we do is we review certain key measures in the business. There's a really good book called Traction by Gina Wickman. Probably like it's a really nerdy business operations book, and
but it's probably like you probably should know it. Yeah.
It's boring as fuck, but if you want to make loads of money, you should definitely read this, and I'll explain context why. I read this in 2021. I was like, oh, this is cool. I implemented some of the stuff, and I did a podcast with a guy called Eric Spofford. It's an American guy, and he sold his business for $120 million. He took it from 20 million a year to 55 million a year. And I was like, Jesus. It's like, Eric, what did you do? He's like, I got the book Traction and implemented it. I was like, I should probably do that. Yeah. So then I did that and our business improved. So I would actually read that book and then you can also start to use some of those principles and apply it with AI.
Gina Wickman. Gina Wickman, sorry.
And then what I would do is create a scorecard of like the key metrics you want to track every week. So like how many sales calls are you booking? How many clients are signing up? And then like also understanding your numbers off of that. So you have like churn, like how many clients are leaving every single month is a huge one. Yeah. Because that's where you want to try and not just have a sales and marketing beast. You want to try and like retain clients and build that base, right?
I noticed retention. I started focusing more on retention after your November mastermind. And like that greatly improved my business too. Just focusing more on retention and actually delivering a higher quality, improving my fulfillment. That's actually improved retention a lot.
So that would be a huge thing I would look at. And then lastly, we can talk obviously about how to get you to 100K a month in your business. I would map this out into like an organizational chart with like you at the top.
Okay.
I would use a software called Lucid app, like allows you to like map things out.
All right.
So you've got your business where you are right now. then, okay, build one for when you're at 100K a month. Like, who are you going to need in the business at that point, if that makes sense?
Yeah.
So then you start to think like that. So for you right now, I think you mentioned one of your coaches is going to start taking sales calls.
Yeah, well, that's the goal. Because like my goal is like, dude, I would love to be booking 5 to 7 calls a day.
Yeah.
You know, so many where I can't even take them all. Like that's a good problem to have. So yes, that is hopefully in the next 2 or 3 months I can have a coach start doing sales calls for me.
So that's for this range right now, I think is the perfect solution. I recommend that to most people. It's like a hybrid role. So they coach and then they can sell, because it's difficult otherwise for you to get enough sales calls to pay someone full time to make it worthwhile them doing it, or for them to be good. For example, you could pay me to take your sales calls, but you can't pay me enough to make it worth my time to do it.
Right.
If that makes sense. So that hybrid role works really, really well. And if you also look at salespeople, what you want is people who you need to be good at sales. You need to have either sales skills or product knowledge.
Yeah.
So if you're a coach, you have product knowledge.
For sure.
You know how the coaching program works. You know what stories tell. You know all about the information about clients. They know about you. So then you just need to fill the gap of the sales.
Dude, I've had salespeople hey, do you need a closer? And like they're reaching out to me. It might be no offense to women, but dude, I'm not, like, my business is mainly men. A man jumping on a call with a woman's probably not going to be signed up. And then I've had other just skinny pencil necks reaching out to me. Oh, I'm a great closer. Like, bro, but you don't even work out.
Yeah, you don't fit the brand.
That's off brand.
Yeah.
So that's why I was telling you about my buddy Scott that I'm thinking about bringing on, because he played in the NFL. He's jacked. He has the product knowledge. I just think he needs to. But dude, sales is a skill you can learn. So that's something that I want to kind of teach him.
But you can't change the identity of who someone is. So if he automatically has credibility if he was in the NFL, and you're selling to Americans, I'll fucking buy that all day long, right? So that'd be like the whole thing is legit from the outset. So I think that for me would be a good fit. And then as the business scales, you'd probably want to either, if he's really good at sales, I would ramp him up more into the sales role and then actually pull him back from the coaching.
Yeah.
He would make more money from that as well.
So this is how I was going to pitch him, and he wants to do it because he has the time. He makes enough money, but he needs more money. It would be basically you'd be doing coaching, but I want you to take over a lot of sales calls, and I would just pay him a base salary, and then obviously commission on any calls he closes. Is that the way to do it?
Perfect. So then he's got the base from his coaching, and then you give him maybe say 10% flat of whatever you close on the call.
That's what I was.
And then that's perfect. And then also if he's coaching the clients, it's also really congruent. If I'm taking a sales call with you, and then I'm actually the person coaching you and working with you, we're building a relationship from the beginning. So that initial phase is going to grow your business really, really quickly. But what I know will happen is, how many clients do you have now?
I have 131.
Yes, so you're going to need another coach as well.
Yeah, well, this is another issue. So I just hired my good friend John. He's very experienced, very good at product knowledge. Dude, but he can't do 131 Loom videos. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, dude, I started doing Loom videos after your mastermind as well, because another coach, Tuomas, really good guy. He's like, bro, you got to do Loom videos. Like, Loom videos. And then I started doing them, and they're tremendously helpful, but they're very time consuming. And like, I can't do them all, and he can't do them all either. So that's why another reason I want to hire someone else that help John out with Loom videos and fulfillment. Yeah,
that's going to be a bottleneck for you straight away. And the first thing I would actually look in terms of when you start to pay these people and bring them in, the way we pay coaches who work for us in the fitness business, we pay them £40 per month per client. Okay. So as we load them up with clients, they get paid more.
Get paid. Well, yeah, dude, if you're going to do more work, you should earn more.
Rather than just giving a base, but then they're also incentivized through other ways with bonuses in terms of like referrals, client results, if the churn rate is under a certain percentage. So you want to try and structure add-ons for people in terms of like the results you want, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. Like I want us all to be pulling on the same end of the rope. So it's like we're all winning.
But that's also where if you come back to like the team management thing, like having a meeting to set the pace every week is really, really important.
Yeah. Okay.
And then one of the things you want people to do that is actually like voice what's working well, what's not working well, what do they need help with.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Any other questions about your team?
Weekly alignment meeting. Yeah, I think you covered that. Actually puts I think I was on the right track a little bit, but
yeah, 100%.
Now this is another one, a niche, because I've heard a lot about this, and like everyone, there's so many people in the fitness industry, and I know a lot of most successful people, they make all their content towards their niche. Like, dude, even you, I look at your content every day. And dude, you're specifically selling to fitness trainers, for people trying to do online fitness business. my content could be a little bit more broad because that's just how I built my following. And like I said, I might jump on a sales call with a 50-year-old overweight lady. Then the next sales call I have might be like a 25-year-old young guy that just wants to get strong, lean, and jacked. So is a niche important, or can I remain broad?
I personally, with you, would remain broad, but be congruent to who you are. Like, so within that, I wouldn't go and sell to, like, you're not going to make videos about menopausal women, as an example.
No, I'm not.
So like your whole thing is like being in great shape, performance, eating well, etc., etc., etc. So like that's quite a broad bucket, but it's going to pull different types of avatar. I would just be very specific in terms of like what your values are and what you stand for, which you're very good at because you're very polarizing in a good way of like, if you're fat, that's not a good thing. And this is kind of your fault and responsibility, and you need to deal with this, which is a good thing. So like I would actually, rather than think about having a niche, is actually, I've never said this before, this is a different way. I think about having like values that you build your brand around.
I have that in my pitch deck already. I do actually, because I thought about that because my values are very important to me. Yeah. So, okay.
That's what I would think about, not a niche, but a values-based coaching business. Like these are our like Tanner's founding principles of our business and how we help people get in great shape, like eat great food, be healthy, live longer, move well, and be an athlete.
It's consistency, discipline, and no excuses. Like those are like my values.
So I would then lean into that, and then what I would do from a content perspective is kind of like what we do. So you want like broad content, and then like super specific, almost like a sniper, like niche content, right? So like if I talk about our own business on our YouTube channel, if we make videos that are broad about Dubai, they rip, they get like tons and tons of views, loads of people top of funnel.
Yeah, because they want to know about Dubai.
And what's interesting is the demographic of user who comes into those videos is very, very good for us. So they are generally going to be 35 to 60 men, like US, UK.
Yeah.
So it's like the exact type of person I want who's got the money.
Yes.
Who's a business person, entrepreneur. So although it's broad, I'm putting stuff in front of the right people I want, but just from a not necessarily specific topic. But then what you do is you then start to drop in like the sniper stuff, which is like direct to the point of like, if you're a busy dude who's a high performer and you're fat and out of shape,
I've seen you
do this.
I've seen some of those from you. Yes.
So like that's where I would try and think about probably every fourth piece of content, having something that's kind of super broad, just to try and pull in as much inflow at the top as you can, like new people into your world. Yeah. And I know you said this earlier, but like one of my favorite sayings is like, best known beats best. Like,
oh yeah, dude, better known is better than best.
Because like,
better known, like, damn, that's so freaking
you can be the best coach in the world, but ultimately if I've got 10,000 times more traffic than you, I'm going to rinse you every day under the sun.
Absolutely, for sure. And actually, that's another reason that it made me I got away from YouTube for 3 months after going to your mastermind because I realized that I was never taking responsibility for my business. So then I started focusing all on my coaching business, and I got away from YouTube. My coaching business was good, it grew, but then I noticed my content dropped off. So now I'm like, all right, what's actually going to grow my business? It's me continuing to make content, continue to build a bigger following. I got to get all the right pieces to, for my coaching business to work better. So it's weird. It's like I was doing the right thing, then I started focusing on the business, and now I got to get back to making content.
And that's where it's like kind of like cycles of like, in my opinion, kind of like loop around.
Yeah.
You got to fix the biggest point of constraint at the time. But when you're doing that, what I would try and think about is like MVP. I'm not talking about from a sports process, but it's like minimum viable process. It's like, okay, cool. In January, February, I'm going to focus really heavily on fixing our offer, our team, X, Y, Z. What's the minimal I can put into our YouTube to keep it working without me having to put fucking all my time into this?
Yeah.
So like that might be like, okay, in our business, I know I can rip loads of videos talking about nerdy business stuff on whiteboards. Like we can film those really, really easy.
Yeah.
So, but okay, cool. Maybe we can push a load of those videos out, and that keeps us going rather than making super in-depth stuff. So I think whenever you have seasons like that, which you will always have a business because
I've already noticed that
you have finite amount of time and like mental energy. You just need to make sure you've got something to keep the merry-go-round going.
Minimum viable
process.
All right.
So like, what's the minimum you need to put? Like it's a bit like training, right? It's like minimal effective volume.
Yeah.
Same thing. For traffic.
Dude, like I already know. Like I need to put out at least 1 to 2 good high quality YouTube videos a month for sure. I already know that.
Yeah.
Like when I'm rolling, I'm making like 4 to 6 minimum. I need to make 1 to 2. just to keep things going. And it's like when I'm only making 1 to 2, then I can really focus more on my coaching business, which is what I did. And like I got things better in my coaching business, but now I'm like, all right, now I got to get back on YouTube. And I might have a.
Have you ever tried making like a YouTube VSL?
Not like, that's interesting. I don't know how would I
structure that?
Yeah.
Okay. So essentially I would make a video which would be like, what would be something that's come up in the sales call recently is a big pain point that comes up a lot? Like you mentioned you ran some stuff through AI recently.
Yeah. Something that came through a sales call a lot is, dude, people they have no idea actually how to get stronger. And like people are working out and they're just following the latest program they found on YouTube, but they're not training. So like, I don't know, product knowledge or just how to effectively train is probably like.
But what's the result they want from training? Like being in better shape, less body fat, looking better?
Most times it's just getting bigger and stronger. Most times for most of my clients, if I had to narrow it down to one thing, I'd say just getting stronger.
Okay, so it'd be like how to get bigger and stronger in 90 days, step by step, and then like as like maybe like a video title, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe like a more clickbait title. But then what I would do is I'd almost do like a client case study and show how you did this with someone and put them on screen. And
I've done that a couple times with a couple other videos, but yeah.
And then the way I'd frame it is wow, not how. You're showing how you did it, but you're not really giving them the actual specifics.
Yes.
But you've got important thing to think about is proof over promises. You're showing social proof of I helped Jack do this, Dave do this, Andrew do this.
Yeah, and
he added 50 pounds to the bench. He's now got 6-pack abs using the Tanner Shuck method or whatever it is. Blah blah blah. Like you show them through that journey.
Yeah.
And then have like a soft
call
to action.
Yeah. Well, dude. So that's another thing. I do a call to action at the end of every YouTube video. Now, hey, if you want to work with me, 1-on-1 custom coaching, just click the link in the description and apply. That's all, dude. Honestly, half of my leads don't even come from Instagram. They're almost from YouTube now. Probably about 50-50.
That's the best, to be fair. They're better leads probably.
Well, yeah, maybe. I don't really, but dude, I like that idea of just like, all right, how to get bigger and stronger in 90 days, show my client proof. And then, a soft call to action, because that could be a good video too. I've actually never thought about actually using my clients as testimonials or showing that in the video. I've always just thought about educating people on how to do it, but not actually showing how I've done it. So that's actually a good idea.
Well, that's when you become the highest level authorities, right? It's like Tanner's done this, but then he's also helped all these other people do it as well.
Yeah, so it's way more relatable because most people watching content, they're just average people. And they look at a guy like you or me like, oh, of course he can do it. He's a fitness professional. But if you actually show everyday real people, dude, that's smart.
Do you want to know also how you can put this on steroids?
Yeah.
Okay, so essentially we're doing this at the moment. It's going to launch over the next week or two. We'll see how it does. Is called a VSL flywheel. So essentially you create that main selling case study and then you create like maybe 4 other videos that all link into it and the call to action at the end of the videos. Like if you found this video helpful, check out the other video on the screen that will walk you through the exact process, how to do this or whatever. So like you try and create 4 other videos that could pop and then push traffic into that, the sales video.
Okay. Dude.
And that's high leverage because if it's YouTube and it goes and you've got a big channel, like you could break your fucking sales business. We did this with social proof moment coming. We did this with Josh Bridgman, who's got maybe 80,000 subscribers. He booked 86 sales calls in like 2-3 days.
No shit.
Just with the VSL, not doing the flywheel thing, but like the video just ripped.
Josh Bridgman.
Yeah. I'll show you the video afterwards.
I'll remember it.
But that's what I would do for you. So I think about like values instead of niche. And then if you would say, okay, how to get to 100K a month, what's your current plan to do that?
My best month ever is 83K. However, it's a little bit, that included some sponsorships that I get paid for. So it's like not only from my coaching business. My plan is I want to book more calls. Cause like, again, I don't want to focus on doing I don't want to get distracted.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I want to focus on like income producing activities. And like, I make the most income when I do sales calls and I close them, obviously. I'm at like 2 to 3 on average per day. So in my mind, all right, I need to get like 4 to 6 or 5 to 7 a day. So that's in my opinion, if you're asking me, that's probably the fastest way for me to get to 100K. That's what I think.
I would agree. The point of constraint is calls. And then it's going to be closing calls. This sounds fucking obvious, but like the only way you grow a fitness business is you book calls and then you close calls.
Yeah.
And then how essentially we ramp up to the moon and you print money and you help those people get in great shape is essentially leaning into more of what you're doing. So I would do the YouTube VSL thing that I spoke about. But then secondly is if you look at CTAs, so Instagram, in my opinion, is the best conversion platform.
Agreed.
Because you can have conversations.
Yes.
So what's your story selling strategy at the moment?
All right. So we were kind of talking about this earlier today. I'll do at least once or twice a week where I'll just put one thing on my story and I'll be like, hey, I might be looking for 5 highly motivated individuals that want to get in the best shape of their life. So if you're ready to eliminate all excuses and get real and lasting results, click the link below or like DM me a CTA word for coaching and I'll get you the details. Then my setters will take that conversation. And I do that once or twice a week. But I don't have consistent days that I do it. I try to do it on Sundays because I've noticed my story views are the most on those, but that's my strategy. And then the other days on my story, I do what we did today. I'll post videos of me working out just because I think it offers credibility. So that's my Instagram strategy right now on my stories.
Say you're booking 60 sales calls a month. What percentage is YouTube? What percentage is Instagram?
I'd have to look at my type form.
Half and half, roughly?
I would probably say half and half.
Okay.
Maybe 60, maybe 55, 45 YouTube to Instagram.
How many outbound messages do your setters send every day?
I don't know, man. Well, so
New conversations they start.
I don't know. Like I have one good setter that works 8 hours, 5 days a week, and then my other setter has a young kid that's just working on commission. I don't know, man. And he's inconsistent because he's just working on commission. He's a kid.
So this is where the team management thing comes in. Of these end of days, you want to have like KPIs. So you want to know how many like DMs have they sent, like new conversations, and then like the replies and the reply rate, and then thirdly, how many follow-up messages do they send? I know what the answer is going to be to this anyway, but I'm going to ask is, do you have a follow-up system in place with tagging?
My one setter, ironically, he used to work for you, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, he's like legit. He's so good. He's like this guy in Pakistan, really good. Dude, he was trained on setting before I even started working with him.
Yeah.
He's really good about follow-ups. I don't know how many he does a day. I've never asked because these are things I just haven't thought about.
So these are the 3 things you really want to track and look at in terms of metrics: is how many conversations are starting, what's the reply rate, the follow-up rate.
Here's a question. I'm not even using a CRM right now. I heard you talk about Go High Level at your last mastermind. I still haven't done that, but I'm about to. Do you recommend me doing that? Is that going to help tracking these things?
100%. Because what you can then do is you can also use like tag. Do you use Meta Business Suite?
It gives me anxiety.
Okay, no. So
I don't.
Why this will help is if you use Go High Level or Meta Business Suite, you can use tagging. So we have like a tagging system we use with clients where we help people. Then essentially what they do is we can do something like 1,500 follow-up messages a day and just turning over Instagram inboxes. This is where you're just churning conversations and keeping them going. So we do that by being like, you could search in the tags, call book link sent, for example.
Yeah, I do that with my type form.
Okay.
And my setter started doing that because he actually knows what he's doing. I asked him about Go High Level. He's like, I've just been doing it with an Excel sheet. Real quick, in both your fitness businesses, do you use Go High Level?
Yeah, we use Go High Level for everything.
Okay.
That's not correct. We use Go High Level for we use it for that, for messaging. And then we also use for our dialing. We do about 2,000 outbound calls a day.
This is another thing. Dude, so like another thing, like speed to lead. I'm sorry, I'm kind of going on. Use Go High Level, and should I be doing phone dialing? So as soon as you get someone that fills out your coaching application, do you try to call that person?
If you want to make more money, yes. So what I would probably do, and this is an idea you can even start with at the beginning, is the guy who's going to come in to take sales calls, get him to do it.
Yeah.
And
I could, because I know he's got time.
So that's what I would do, because one of the best ways to scale your business now in 2025 and 2026 in the next 2-3 years is doing the things that are old school that people don't actually do.
Dude, like doing the things that you know you need to do. You're doing the hard work that most people want to avoid. And bro, it's like literally getting on more calls, booking more calls.
And you can dial them via Go High Level as well. We actually use another system called Close because we do a lot of volumes. It's slightly better. Okay. But Go High Level is definitely something I'd recommend.
I wanted to ask you about that when we were working out today, but like I forgot. So I'm really freaking pumped. Okay, good.
So for you to get to 100K a month, if you want to focus, first thing I'd do straight away, the YouTube VSL, I'd crank up the volume of YouTube videos you're putting out. You put out more good videos, you get more traffic.
For sure.
You'll fucking book more calls. Have you ever tried posting on the community page with CTOs?
On YouTube?
Yeah.
So dude, I was posting on my community page consistently because I saw another dude, good YouTuber. He was like putting on his community page pretty much every day, and you can get subscribers from that. But I never have thought about using my community page for CTAs. No, I haven't.
I would do that, and then second thing I do from call to actions is from a story side, and you're like this, and we do this with Go High Level. I think you saw this at the event, but we will put up stories which are lead magnets. So we put up one this week that crushed, which I would highly recommend watching the video. It's really, really good. It's basically how to launch an 8-week transformation program. So we put that on our stories as like a free training, and then we push people into YouTube. Okay. So the reason we do that is if we take someone from short form content to long form content,
you're building up more trust,
and the likelihood of buying is much higher. So, but also what we're doing is we're creating a conversation. We're getting people to message us.
Dude, so all right, so I've been doing this, and this is what I got away from, because I started focusing more on YouTube, but I got away from doing CTAs in my reels. And the way I've been doing is I'll use ManyChat. I'll say, hey, DM me the word strength, and I'll send my 8 weeks strength program to you for free. Opens a conversation, you collect an email, and then or you could open a conversation, you give them something for free. Maybe it's a link to a YouTube video or a little fat loss guide or whatever. And then that is a way just to get more conversation started and hopefully lead them to YouTube, build a more loyal follower.
100%. So I would do that with what I would do straight away. I'd look at your YouTube videos. Which one would work well to be shared? As like take the thumbnail, put some text above it, put it on a story, get people to DM you for it.
I got probably 10 videos I can do that with.
Like I'd pull them in. I do that probably like twice a week, alongside like lead magnet posts and then like a direct CTA.
Okay.
I'd have something on your stories every day for a reason for someone to message you.
For sure.
And then what I would also do in addition to that, you actually just mentioned then, reminded me, is like email's shit for actually making sales generally. But do you have an email list already?
I do.
What software do you use?
I use Kajabi. Like that's what's like when I built my website like 4 years ago.
Can you send emails on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can.
So what, and do you send emails?
Do I?
Yeah.
Dude, I pay someone to do it. So my assistant, who's amazing, he's a really good copywriter. He writes my emails for me. Okay. And sometimes I'll pitch it to, at the end of every email, usually it's some kind of CTA. Sometimes it's like just value email. Then other times it might be a CTA to apply for one-on-one custom coaching.
So I would push them also into some of the long form stuff. So like, again, if you're going to do that case study YouTube system, blast everything into that from the email as well, because that will work really, really well.
Smart.
And that's where like the last thing I'd actually do with this is like promotions. So people think like sales is a dirty word, having promotions. Like you want to have, you're American, right? So we're in May. So I'd be like, have a 4th of July promotion.
Dude, I've done 2 promotions this year already after your November event, because you were talking about you could have a sale or a promotion basically every month, depending on whatever it is you want. Like this is a great way. I did a 5th anniversary True Strength Custom Coaching promo giveaway. If you sign up for 6 months, 6 more months, you get 2 months free. You sign up for 12 months, you get 4 months free. Bro, that crushed for me. And then I did it again in April, which was I'm doing a wedding special giveaway. Hey, I need to pay for my wedding, which is true. It's not cheap.
Sign up.
Yeah, please. But that brought me in another like $13K just with my existing clients.
Okay. So this is what I would say to you every month. I would try and come up with some different angle, or not necessarily sell to your existing clients, but put out in the outward world, because as content creators, business owners, you think that you're saturating your audience with offers, and like same thing with content, right? It's like, dude, I don't fucking remember what I posted last month. Let alone your audience.
Me neither. No,
so like, I can't remember. So, and off the top of my head, I don't remember what offer I even did last month. So like, I would have something you're going to try and push as a different angle. So like for me, for example, I put an offer up like last week. I randomly got ideas. I'm like, oh, I'm going to become a dad, so I'll make a dad sale for 25% off for 24 hours. Like that's cool. It's a different idea. Like whatever it is that could be relevant for the time of like, oh, I'm moving to Dubai special or whatever. Like birthdays, kids' birthdays,
Mother's
like
Day,
anything.
or whatever. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
do at least something monthly.
Yeah, and even not even just like a discount offer, but like maybe that we're now, for example, it's 8th of May or something, or 9th of May today. I'm like, okay, cool. So you could have like an 8-week program that you try and push for 8 weeks from now. If like people want to get in shape for summer quick, use the True Strength 8-week performance method to drop body fat and build muscle this summer. We have a new 8-week program we just launched. Yeah. Just run it for 3 days and just see what you get come through, because different messaging and different things will pivot and pull people in.
Yeah, for sure. Instead of just saying the same thing, which is I get stuck in the habit of putting the same things on my story all the time.
But then what I would do, dude, is even if you do like an 8-week offer, you still get them on a sales call, and then you just you just sell them the other thing anyway.
Yeah.
And just incorporate it. So that's how I would frame it.
Okay. Dude, that's a good idea. It's something I've never even thought about, because it's basically all I do is good thing I've done is like I've eliminated all my low ticket offers, and I've just focused on high ticket, which has been tremendously helpful. But I haven't thought about doing like an 8-week program or having a different offer in place that can just help me.
So why do you think an 8-week offer will work well?
Why do I think it would? Because I think people want results fast. They want kind of immediate gratification. It's like, oh, dude, I could get in shape before summer. So maybe it would appeal to people on that.
Yeah, 100%. So like what you want to do is, instead of like most people try and sell people the flight to somewhere, you want to focus on selling them the vacation, right?
Yeah.
So like you want to sell them the end result of being in fucking strong, athletic, in good shape for the summer. And you can do that in 8 weeks, like relative to where you are right now.
Yeah.
But you want to talk about this end result rather than like the process here of like how you're going to do it.
Yeah, like booking a flight. And I got you. That's a good analogy.
That's where I'd also make seasonality in terms of like what you sell with offers as well, where your prospects are. Something that would be actually really good for you to do as well is to get like one of your clients or your favorite client to do like an ocean profile test, a personality test, sorry. And essentially what that is like a personality test. You can take that personality test, upload it into AI, and then you can use that in terms of like the type of content you make to actually psychologically trigger that person, even with the offers, the type of thing that they're going to buy in terms of the way it's worded, the way it's labeled, the way it's designed. This is one of the things we're really working with a lot of coaches right now, is nailing this down.
So an ocean profile, and that's a person. Sorry,
it's like a personality test.
So you get your clients to take a personality
Just get
test?
one of them to do it, who's like a perfect client, and then take that document and upload it into ChatGPT or Claude, and use that as like one of the project files that it works from.
Dude, I wouldn't have ever even thought of that.
Because then and this is how you can essentially psychologically trigger people to buy, because you're going off of their psychology.
Yeah.
Like the words they use, the language, the way they think.
Yeah. All right. Dude, ocean, like, would I just ChatGPT?
I can send you a link for it, but you can also get ChatGPT can do an ocean personality test. I would use the proper one, but it's wildly accurate. I actually did one this week and I read it and I was like, holy shit, that's literally me.
Yeah.
So then I actually use that as well from a marketing standpoint, because the type of person I want to sell to is someone who would be similar to me.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Interesting. Okay.
Do you have any other questions on that or anything?
Dude, I think you freaking crushed that on that. I'm trying to think if I had any.
I'm going to give you, do you want to know how to execute this entire thing and get a game plan in under 30 seconds?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Please.
So I would, and for anyone listening, this is how you can like ingest information and get a plan very quickly. I would take the transcription from this video, which I'll give you, and then I would upload to ChatGPT, and then I would put in a prompt, which is something like, I've just had this conversation with Charlie, business coach, does X, Y, Z. Please take all the action points that I need to do in here in the priority order and break them down for me with a summary of how to do it.
You already sent me a document to do that, and I did it, and I was like, that blew my mind. That's the way to do it. And I also wanted to know, when's this video uploading? Or when's this video going to go out so I can actually just watch it again?
2-3 weeks, but I can send you the video beforehand so that you can rip it. But we'll give you this as well straight away. What's been your initial experience so far of everything you've seen from us?
All right, real talk. I've known Charlie for like 4 or 5 years, known of him. Never got to know him until I went to his mastermind last November. And everything that I assumed about him was wrong. And I just realized like this dude is like ridiculously smart, especially with business acumen and just how to think about, making money, especially in the fitness industry, which can be hard to do. But the value that you've given me just blown me away. And I was very skeptical of you, like wrongfully. But dude, the biggest takeaway is just focus on business, like do the things that you need to do. Take responsibility for your business, and man, like I would say, building a team, do sales calls, and just focus on what works and just do more of that. Don't get distracted. Like that's been a big thing. But for just like the overwhelming amount of knowledge and insights that you share with me, like, dude, I know people pay you thousands of dollars to do what you just did for me. So another thing, I'm just incredibly grateful. So thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Very, very thankful.
My big thing is helping people and helping good people get the great result they want. Yeah. And there's too many trainers who are broke and don't make the money they want. And the biggest gift I have is almost like being able to help people draw like a fucking cross of like, this is exactly what you need to go and do, and just go and do it and then fix the problem.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
Because people get crippled with anxiety in their business, overwhelm, and you may well have anxiety and overwhelm in your business right now because you don't know what to do and there's too many options.
Dude, what was it? What's that quote you have on your phone? If you're not feeling pressure, it's mean you're not playing big enough.
Yeah, if you don't have pressure in your life, you're not playing big enough. And like, I constantly feel pressure because I'm trying to get to the next level. So if you are comfortable right now, you are not trying to play big enough.
Yeah, like that is it's weird because I don't really know Charlie as well as I've gotten to know him better, but it's crazy how similar our minds think. Because dude, I feel a lot of pressure and anxiety, but that's a good thing because I'm trying to play big. So like surrounding myself with someone else that's like-minded has been a game changer for me. That's been a huge value for me.
100%.
Knowing that I'm not like strange or, a bad person for just being ambitious. That's a good thing too.
And I think when you put ambition and our big goal of what we do is give people the right strategy, the playbook, and exactly how we've done that from our own businesses, this then becomes very easy. And if you're a trainer and a coach and you want like actually how to walk the path from someone who's actually done it and actually be guided through that process, that's exactly what we do. So if anyone wants help with that, if you hit the link below this video, we can walk you through exactly a similar process like I just did with Tanner. And then if we think we're a good fit, we talk about what that looks like. And if you enjoyed the video and the podcast, make sure you hit the subscribe button, comment below any questions, and we'll see you next very, very soon.
Dude, thank you, man.
That's dope.
Yes, dude.
Helpful?
That was fucking awesome.